As we approach the end of Women's Month in South Africa, we continue to have conversations with women of substance. American Ambassador to South Africa, Lana Marks, is only the second female American ambassador to South Africa. We're in conversation with her now about the embassy's work with women in South Africa and also at a personal level. Ambassador Marks is herself a very successful entrepreneur. A very warm welcome to you, Ambassador. Lovely talking to you this morning.
Esther, thank you so much for having me on your show again. It's an honor to be with you.
Ambassador, what's the significance of being only the second woman ambassador to South Africa?
Thank you for articulating that. I hadn't even thought of that. It's a great honor as a woman to be the U.S. ambassador to South Africa. I've had a very, very fortunate time in the U.S. to have lived the American dream, and then now as a woman to come back. I've had several girlfriends who've been U.S. ambassadors, and they have been terrific friends and role models to me in the past.
So you want to highlight the work of the embassy with women and in the areas of the fight against gender-based violence. What have you been doing in this space?
Well, in our PEPFAR program, first of all, it's a $7.4 billion program since 2004. Implemented by President Bush. We have a very vast AIDS network throughout South Africa. We have the DREAMS program where we want to get young women AIDS-free, HIV-free, and we create these ambassadors who are determined, resilient, empowered, AIDS-free, mentored, safe woman program, DREAMS. And this is very successful in South Africa with young women, and we're increasing that tremendously. We have our American Corners, which has tremendous opportunities for women, and I urge all young women in South Africa, if they're interested, to contact these American Corners, like the Rosa Parks one in Soweto. We have Academy for Women Entrepreneurs. We focus tremendously on entrepreneurship. We have Tech Women, where South African women in tech can interface with top American tech women and organizations and technology. We have the Fortune 500 mentorship program where women of South Africa can be mentored by top women of the United States. And we have many academic exchanges such as the Fulbright program. Oh my gosh, it goes on and on and on. But I think if women of South Africa are interested and they contact our American Corners or the embassy, there's tremendous opportunities.
Ambassador Marks, there's been a bit of a concern that the fight against HIV Aids has taken a bit of a backseat while the globe approaches the fight against COVID-19. How have you found that in your PEPFAR work you've had to reallocate resources?
Yes, fortunately, we have a terrific infrastructure within South Africa together with the Ministry of Health. So we've been able to pivot some of these resources. We've had a surge of funds by Congress. Congress has been very generous, $1.5 billion. We've just had the second year of this, $750 million coming into South Africa. And because of the tremendous infrastructure, we've been able to pivot some of this to assist with COVID-19 and also had an additional $45 million US that have come in to assist with the COVID programs, ventilators, PPE, and such. However, we cannot lose sight of the fact that because of this generosity of the American Congress, that epidemic control is what is still the most important thing to us this year. The HIV program in South Africa, the PEPFAR program, is the largest in the world. We have 4.7 million South Africans who are on antiretroviral medication, free of charge. We need an additional 1.4 million women to be on this program. We're really pushing hard at the moment. We've been very supportive together with the South African Ministry of Health, and we cannot lose sight of the fact that this is very, very important to work towards epidemic control this year.
Yeah,
it's increasing. The program is increasing. We are working in a positive direction. We are closer now to epidemic control than we've ever been in South Africa.
Yeah. So what most South Africans don't know about you is that you're a successful luxury fashion designer. Tell us about your business side, and when can South Africans start to see your handbags sold here?
That's my prior life that I don't talk much about now. I was fortunate, as I said, to go to the United States, start a new business on my kitchen table, set up all aspects of the supply chain, every aspect of the business, the marketing, the accounting, everything completely from scratch, develop it around the United States. I saw a market niche that wasn't being filled and set out to fill that niche. And worked very, very hard, often had obstacles, overcame those obstacles. 2008, when we had the financial crash, I had to pivot the business to a global business and then set it up all around the world, and have been very, very fortunate to live the American dream in that respect in business.
Ambassador Marks, this week, you were saying something?
Sorry, no,
okay.
It was just delayed.
I was just saying that this week the Republican convention got underway with President Trump accusing the Democrats of trying to rig the elections by insisting on the mail-in postal ballot. What can you tell us about your party's preparation for the November poll?
America is a very robust democracy. We will have our election in November, and the winner will be announced, who will be the President of the United States, and I'm cautiously optimistic.
What conversations are taking place around Americans about the mail-in system, about its efficacy and its failures?
There'll be a lot of noise, there'll be a lot of chatter on both sides about this, but in the end, as I mentioned, it's a robust democracy. People will go to the ballot box. People will do mail-in votes. There have always been mail-in votes. There's always been ballot box. There's always records that are not up to date, and I'm confident that everything will go smoothly in the end.
Yeah. Ambassador, you've been very involved in South Africa's effort against the coronavirus. I'm sure you must be worried about all the headlines that you see. How do you ensure that all the financial and infrastructure assistance ends up with the intended beneficiaries against the backdrop of massive corruption allegations?
Desiree, unfortunately, President Ramaphosa has inherited a situation of the last 10 years. I'm not worried about that at all in terms of our very extensive support and donations for South Africa. We provide PPE, we send it direct to the ministry, or we send it to the locations, different places all over South Africa. We've sent our ventilators direct to the hospitals. We've delivered them directly to the hospitals allocated by the Ministry of Health. And I'm not worried at all. I'm very confident about all the support we give South Africa, and I know it's immensely appreciated.
Yeah, I know you've outlined all the specific programs the U.S. Embassy has geared at women, but what specifically have you done during Women's Month with South African women? And if you were to give us your sense of South African women leadership and who are the people that just stick out for you?
There's many people that stick out for me. You've got chancellors of universities, you've got a vice president who's at the United Nations, you have got heads of major corporations in South Africa, you've got women in public health. The leadership in South Africa is extraordinary. Your incredible Foreign Minister, Dr. Naledi Pandor, is one who particularly comes to mind immediately to me. She's an incredible role model to all South African women as to what is possible. She's got an extraordinary portfolio, and she's just an incredible role model for South Africa. I participated in her Durka forum recently with women ambassadors, and it was one of the most extraordinary experiences I've had since I've been in South Africa. It was outstanding.
Oh, wow.
And she is the most exceptional speaker. I had heard how terrific she was, and that I heard for myself. She was so supportive, she was a role model, and I think all South African women can take leadership.
You're absolutely right. Dr. Pandor never sets a foot wrong. And thank you so much for talking to us this morning, Ambassador.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor and lovely to be with you again. Thank you for having me.
Same here. Thank you, Ambassador Lana Marks, who's the second female U.S. ambassador to South Africa, talking there about Women's Month and U.S. politics. Let's take a break.